Ubisoft's Far Cry extraction-based multiplayer shooter has been rebooted. This is Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming. The Far Cry extraction-based multiplayer shooter under codename Maverick has been rebooted, Insider Gaming has learned. Project Maverick, which was initially intended as a multiplayer component to Far Cry 7, morphed into its own project in early 2023. But after internal reviews, the project has been rebooted. That's according to several sources familiar with the project's development, who said that the writing was on the wall for a number of months. It was said that the final nail in the coffin came after its dedicated tech team called Talisker, also the old name for Far Cry 7 before it morphed into two separate projects, moved from Maverick to be fully dedicated to Blackbird in late December to ensure the project stays on track. Maverick was also going to be an extraction-based multiplayer shooter set in Alaska, where players would try to survive and extract in the harsh elements against wild animals, AI soldiers, and other players. It's understood that Ubisoft Montreal, the studio heading both Maverick and Blackbird (Far Cry 7), will take the multiplayer game back to prototyping with Ubisoft Sherbrooke. Ubisoft Berlin, this is just fucking Ubisoft in any fucking
worldwide,
city,
man.
Ubisoft Berlin, we're also assisting in the game's development, have seen around a dozen or so developers move to Blackbird and another dozen move to another project. However, it is understood approximately 50 developers are now left without an assigned project and will likely be placed on viability this month. The exact reason for Maverick's reboot is unclear, but the decision seems to have been made as part of Ubisoft's new strategy to streamline its teams and projects amid the company's struggles. That being said, some on the Blackbird project feel like a 2026 release date is fairly optimistic with the project bloating in headcount and budget. Ubisoft is so supremely fucked.
It's really hard to not just have that negative of a response, isn't it? Like, so much about what's being said here, from just even a Far Cry extraction shooter starting there, and then, we're rebooting it. There's just so many questions, first off, of why. And then why?
Yeah.
Like, it just seems so missing there's no room being read here, Greg. Ubisoft is clearly desperately trying to figure something out. They're trying to come up with a strategy to solve the problem that they are clearly in.
Yeah.
But they're talking about this maybe being like a 2026 release.
Not possible.
And it's like, I don't think that that's possible. And if it was, that's not going to be great. I don't know. It's getting more and more concerning to look at Ubisoft and what they even can do to fix this. And again, what is this? I think a lot of different problems from the views of the consumer, from the views of the actual Ubisoft fans that I feel like are dwindling.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's walking around being like, I'm a Ubisoft guy.
And I'm sure there are some of them, but I'm sure by the day that number is dwindling.
Yeah.
And then you look at even the IP that they have and like, what are the things that people are even asking for and requesting, and have they kind of like missed every swing that they took with those in the last couple years, right? Like, it's getting kind of tough.
Ubisoft is a souffle. It was rising in the oven so long, and it was doing really well. And then once it collapsed, it's just like it was too big. It's collapsed.
It's too big.
There's nothing we can do.
Studios everywhere.
The souffle has collapsed. It is fucked city. There's no. What are we gonna do? How do you save this? You start closing off all these. And I'm not saying this like with any joy in my voice. You close up Ubisoft Berlin. You close up Ubisoft Sherbrooke. You close up Ubisoft Tucson. All these fucking places. You're gonna have to close so much of this stuff, which is going to sink your stock even worse. Don't even play the song. And then it's going to be just garbage. You're going to get bought. You're going to get sold. People are going to come in. It's
already happening.
This doesn't end well. I know they are.
Yeah.
I know. And Assassin's Creed, imminent.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is going to happen? Like, that game's going to come out, and like, based on the preview me and Barrett did, it's another Assassin's Creed, which tanked my excitement for it because they had talked about it being something different. Like, not different, but being evolved. And then I played like, this is Assassin's Creed, which I'm not jonesing to drop another 20, 30, 40 hours into and go do everything. So if that comes out to middling responses. This episode is brought to you by Monster Hunter Now. Whether I'm taking Ben to the playground, soccer practice, or on a hike with Jen, I'm wandering the outdoors more than ever. That's where Monster Hunter Now comes in. It's an authentic Monster Hunter experience on your mobile that lets you find and hunt monsters in the real world using your phone. Whether you're out on a walk, commuting, or just need a quick hunting break between your console sessions. And right now, there's no better time to jump in because Monster Hunter Now is running an epic collaboration event with Monster Hunter Wilds, packed with surprises that any Monster Hunter fan won't want to miss. Let's talk about the good stuff. For the first time, a monster from Monster Hunter Wilds has made its way into Monster Hunter Now. Players can also experience the thrill of riding a Sacred from Monster Hunter Wilds with the new layered equipment and so much more. This won't be available once the event ends, so don't miss your chance to get it while you can, and don't you worry about me and that Sacred look. I already unlocked it. But that's not all. By completing event quests, you'll unlock a special gift code that can be redeemed in Monster Hunter Wilds. These rewards will give you an early head start, making sure you're geared up and ready to take on the next big adventure. So if you haven't already, now's the perfect time to download Monster Hunter Now. It's free to play, and trust me, once you start hunting monsters in the real world, you'll be hooked. Go to kindafunny.com/MH now, jump into the event before it's gone, and I'll see you out there. Remember, that's kindafunny.com/MH now. Happy hunting.
I mean, I've been saying this forever, but the biggest things Ubisoft has ever had, Star Wars, open world Star Wars game,
Outlaws,
being made by the team behind The Division,
yeah.
And Assassin's Creed is finally going to Japan. And one of those was, I feel like no matter what way you look at it, not a major success.
Oh, yeah.
With Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
And then you look at Assassin's Creed, and there's so much riding on it that it just feels impossible for it to hit the heights that it needs to.
And that's the problem with it, right? Is like, for Assassin's Creed and looking at it like this and talking about it like this and where we're at with the Ubisoft timeline right now, like, it is impossible for Assassin's Creed to do what this company needs it to do. This game would need to be tens across the board and be bigger than GTA on day one for this to be the lifeline that saves Ubisoft and turns it around and buys them more time on the island. Like, I just don't.
I mean, it is March 4th.
Yeah.
We are 3 months away from Summer Game Fest season. Ubisoft has insisted on doing a Ubisoft Forward every year, whether or not they had anything important to say.
Yeah.
Whether or not they had good news. They would just say news even if they knew it was bad news. Here we are. Do they do one this year? What does it even look like? What do they have to talk about?
That's the
if
thing.
Assassin's Creed is out already, and they're not going to be talking about this now rebooting Rainbow Six or a freaking
no
Far
human
Cry
being in
extraction
2020. No one, no developer, nobody, should be coming out in 2025 being like, let's talk about a new extraction shooter.
They shouldn't.
Bro, it's over. That souffle is burnt. That souffle collapsed and burned. We don't need more extraction shooters. We don't want more extraction shooters.
Man, it's such a bummer. And I say this as somebody that looked forward to Ubisoft showcases every single year because there was multiple things that I was like, maybe they're going to.
For so long, I was the Ubisoft open world guy. I was like, this is the game I want.
Yeah. But even then, like the Raymans, the Prince of Persia is like the things that I freaking love. Beyond Good and Evil, the original one, not this fake game that doesn't exist with the sequel.
Yeah.
I care about that stuff. And then you get the Prince of Persia, it actually kicks ass, and then they get closed. And now it's like, all right, cool. What could I possibly be looking forward for them announcing?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Right now, do you think they do a Ubisoft Forward?
I think they do. I really think they do. And I think it's going to be abysmal. Like, I think it is going to be. I legitimately think the Ubisoft Forward 2025 during the summer area, I think one of two things is going to happen. Either it doesn't happen, and that means smarter minds are prevailing, and there is a shift and a change attempted and being listened to from within. Or we get one, and I think it's going to be Capcom showcase levels of bad, but they're not Capcom. The way Capcom does its showcases is very different. I'm not giving them an out. They shouldn't do that shit.
Yeah.
But it very much just feels more like a digital commercial as opposed to a showcase. And especially the Ubisoft, like, was it last time they insisted on doing a live in-person one in the shitty hotel conference room?
Ubisoft last time?
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
They went back to in-person showcases. They're the only ones that did. And they didn't have the stuff. They had people come out and perform Skull and Bones music.
The distaste in your voice. The disdain in your voice. You're just fucking against it.
I want to fix it, man. But I think it's too late. Anyways.
I'm going to say they don't do it because things are so abysmal. I think there's a push inside that they'd want to do it, but I'd imagine you're hearing this. I don't expect Assassin's Creed to be able to do anything. So I think people must be hoping. I imagine that launches and you see more layoffs. Like I feel like the news is going to be so bleak and dire that
even when I'll say Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out and gets what, an 83 Metacritic, something like that, sells millions and millions of copies, and it's still going to result in that. Like it just feels like we need a 90 Metacritic and we need 15 million in a day sales, and that's just not going to happen.
Fair enough. In the chat, in the super chats over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, where you can be part of the show. Barista Brand says, Ubisoft fans, there are dozens of us. Dozens.
Yeah.
Are there really, Bran? You're still waving the flag for Ubisoft? What is, live chat right over there on YouTube and Twitch. I see you. Throw up a 1 if you're excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Is that a game you're gonna buy, you're gonna pre-order, you're gonna play? Just only put up 1s if you care. 2 if you hate it. 2 if you don't care. There's a fair amount of 1s over there. Let's see if the 2s take it. A lot of people putting 0s in there. They don't understand it. There come the 2s.
God, wow.
A lot of 2s.
There was a good amount.
I was
of
like,
ones,
oh, maybe there's a different. No,
and the 2s came through.
1s are sprinkled in. I'm fascinated, man. I can't wait to see.
Yeah.